Today on AlphaMail Mondays, we got a Corona update, a pipeline protest, power, and we're going to talk about some UFC and get to some AlphaMail. Peace, power, and positive vibes. AlphaMail Mondays coming to you yet again. We got our producer, Culture Rich TV, in the background here, and yours truly, to fear none. Now, I want you to like, subscribe, and send the AlphaMail to info@alphamailmondays.com. Now, superscribe, matter of fact. We don't do no subbing things over here. And when you tune into the station, you are going to get the perspective on everyday issues from an alpha male. It's simple. Now, get right into it. We had a UFC Fight Night last night, and the card was pretty good. It was a pretty good card. Nothing really stood out that much, except for one fight. Diego Sanchez and Michael Pereira. Are you familiar with Diego Sanchez?
You know, I'm not really a UFC guy, but no, I know.
You know John Jones.
I know Bones Jones. That's my dude.
All right. Well, Diego Sanchez is a guy from long time. He won the UFC. Sorry, it's the Ultimate Fighter, the TV show.
Okay,
season 1.
Oh yeah.
Season 1.
That's a long time.
Okay, so he's been in the game for a while.
Yeah.
He just scrapped all his trainers and just trains with a one guy now, and it was a weird fight, man. This guy looked like he was on like some type of drugs or something. Like he was trying to fight like he was a hippie, like trying to have like a force field around him, like you can't touch me. Before the fight started, he was doing something where he was like pouting intensely, but he's doing it so hard that spit's flying all over the place. I'm like, this guy is nasty. What's going on with this guy
think he
here?
might have been high, you're right.
This guy, we have coronavirus. He's trying to give it to people. I'm like, yo, this guy's a weirdo. So the other guy, he's a really flamboyant guy. Like, not flamboyant in that term, but he's really very exciting to watch. He does a lot of flips and all kind of crazy moves in the ring.
Oh, cool.
He's a Brazilian guy, Michael Pereira.
I love Brazilian fighters.
And he's a bad man still. He's a guy to look out for. But his record doesn't really reflect it as much. I don't know if he started doing something different recently, but he's a good guy. He can fight. He starts piecing up Diego. Like, it's sad to watch almost. It's like this. It looked like certain strikes that were happening, it looked like an amateur. Like a real amateur versus a professional. And then in the third round, this guy starts to really dance on the guy. Like he starts to really mash him up now. And then so he started hitting with some flying knees, had him in the dugan. You know when you're it's a Thai boxing move where you clench your wrist and you control the guy's neck so you can kind of elbow and knee. This guy's taking some shots. So he ended up going down on one knee at one of the shots. I think he got kneed in his chest. He fell down to his knee. And when he fell into his knee, the guy kneed him in his head. So then they asked, give him time. It's an illegal strike, give him time. So when you're looking at the doctor come to see Diego and you're like, can you continue? He's like, I can't see out of this eye.
Oh, shit.
Like, I can't see. He's like, it was an illegal blow, man. It was an illegal blow? Legal blow? It's a legal blow, man. It's a legal blow. No, I can't continue. It's a legal blow, man. And then so the other guy got disqualified. So this counts as a win
for that guy.
For Diego Sanchez.
That's the only,
that's the only loss that John Jones has too.
Yeah, I remember that's the first fight I seen him and he did the illegal elbow, right?
But he was begging the ref to stop.
Yeah.
He was looking at the ref like, you want me to murder this guy? Like, how much more shots you want me to give this guy?
Yeah.
More? Fine. And they just got frustrated.
So what's the rule? What are the illegal blows?
The illegal blow, you can't kick a guy in his head when he's on the ground.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
And if you have one knee down, depends on, they have updated rules or whatever. I can't remember the term they use.
The Jones one was an elbow. You can't use your elbow.
You can't use your elbow in a north-south. So going from like north to south, you can't do that straight. If you come like an angle, you can do it.
Oh.
But he was doing that. And he was murdering this guy. And then
I remember that fight.
yeah. So anyway, Diego, just quit while you're ahead, bro. And you're not my favorite fighter, but I grew up with you. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not like I want to see you look like that. Okay? So now, last week, John Jones had a controversial victory with this guy, Dominic Reyes. And there are certain people...
big up the Reyes guy. I respect that guy.
Reyes, you get some props. You're a good fighter.
It's a good fighter.
And your athleticism is high level. Mm-hmm. It is high level. You're training hard.
Yeah,
your conditioning is good too. But you kind of faded in 4 and 5. The championship rounds.
Jones, bro. Come on. The GOAT.
Fair. And he had Dominic, you get props.
Trust me.
Like, I definitely don't want to walk up to you in a dark alley and have some issues or owe you money or something like that. It's not going to be nice. But John Jones won the fight, man. He won the fight. And the damage done tells it all. Your face was all mash up, bro. Mm-hmm. And John's wasn't. So a lot of the flurries, you didn't connect. And you didn't connect with a lot of stuff. And now Kenny Florian came out recently. And he said that after watching the fight a few more times, it's like, yeah, I could see the judge scoring it 4-1 for Jones. Because a lot of those things he was missing. So what they do in the UFC and in combat sports, period, is they play games. And this is one of the games they play. The total strike versus significant strike game. So when the guy that the pundits or the company want to win has more significant strikes, even if the total strikes are way outweighed, you'll start talking about significant strikes. Exactly. Yeah. So if the guy you want to win is not winning but has more total strikes, you'll start talking about total strikes. And you do it all the time, guys. And it's kind of tired at this point, and you're not going to change because Nafir Nunn said so. So we have to kind of be more careful about how we're watching these fights because we're not stepping in the ring as well. But John Jones, you're the GOAT. You got I don't know what it is, but Dominic might have been that good, but there are certain, you said it yourself, there are some holes that you have to work on.
When was his last fight? Hasn't it been a while, or is that like a regular kind of time off since
I think it was a regular time off. Okay. I think it was a regular time off.
He's getting older, man.
Yeah, for example, you see Izzy, Stylebender?
Yeah.
That's a Nigerian guy, and he's the same height as John Jones. Ooh. Okay? So the reach is probably similar, all right? And John Jones is going to be stronger, okay?
Of course, he's heavier.
But, if you strike like how you struck against Dominic Reyes, Izzy eats your food, bro.
That's a big talk.
Izzy eats your food. And this is what Izzy's even knowing. That's why he's seeing certain things. Because we're not in the fight game. We used to train and stuff like that. My little brother's, pretty serious in the martial arts as well. But we're not in the game. So I don't see everything that these fighters see, right? So now enough with that talk. I keep saying Jonathan Reyes, I don't know why. But Dominic Reyes, he did a good job. John Jones. Oh, that's why. Because it's I want to say John Jones more than John. Yeah, that's why. Because John Jones, maximum respect. Now, moving on from there, you see when Diego, I should have probably segued from the Diego doing the spit from his mouth because we gotta talk about this Corona update that I seen. Okay.
What's the update you got?
Well, there's something that's floating around, and I was sent.
There's a lot floating around.
Yeah, there's a lot floating around. It's from this. Let me see what the website's called, just to make sure I don't misquote the thing, because it's not the most reputable. It's called UFOspotlight.wordpress.com. But sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction, and when I read the article, it made sense in many ways.
Okay.
Now, the article basically says that the coronavirus is not what we think it is. The corona itself, that virus, is something that is similar to the flu or whatever. It's something, because they have a patent for it. It's something, right? But what they were trying to do in China a while back, I don't want to get into the timeline, and I'm not in China, and I've never been to China, so I don't know. But they're saying they were trying to develop something to make the protesters, because there were a lot of uprisings going on. So the protesters,
Hong Kong, it's a big thing.
it's not
international
small.
news.
Like
man.
it's not small, and they were trying to contain it, but it's like weeks, hundreds of thousands of people are just, and it's like hundreds of thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a small protest, okay? So they wanted to create something to make the populace docile, okay? So they wanted to have something like an aerosol where they can spray it over the masses and the people could pick up some kind of thing to make them more docile and complacent, go home, and then they'll go home. But they couldn't release it in Hong Kong because Hong Kong is too big. It's gonna, like, just in case something. So they decided to do it in Wuhan. So they started gathering up a whole bunch of Islamic extremists and whatnot. And I heard about some kind of thing.
I don't know about extremists, because I've heard about
the roundups. I have no idea. But this is the term they're going to get labeled, right? So I'm just using the terminology that they're talking about. And so they round them up and they experimented on them. The thing worked too well, murdered off a bunch of people. U.S. heard, CIA and China have good relations, they must. The agent who came out and spilled the beans on all of this claims to be an intelligence agent
for China.
Okay, and it doesn't want his name to be disclosed, and he doesn't give if he has a family and all kind of. Well, China's not joking.
China's not.
People die. People die like you know what does it say? Niggas get shot every day, b. It's like,
kill them.
Like so, like it's every day that's going on over there. So
the gist of it is that they created this agent.
They created the agent to make people docile and retarded mentally, okay?
To quell the uprising.
To quell the uprising. U.S. heard, they want peace of the action. China's like, no, it's too dangerous, okay?
Oh, fuck.
They got to somebody with money, right? They used money and got to somebody in there. Apparently, they were supposed to make an exchange, and certain intelligence things found out. Shootout and like TV stuff. Okay, I don't know. Right?
Sounds kind of fantastic.
And then it got released, and the shootout and the drop and everything was supposed to happen right beside the plant where they said the first contact of the coronavirus occurred. Okay, so apparently the U.S. has it, but it got dispersed into the area, and this thing is not no flu thing. This thing will murder you. They say it has like 100% mortality rate. Okay? So or fatality rate. It's 100% gonna murder you. It's gonna done you. And apparently a lot of people in the Wuhan province, which had I think 11 million people, they're not talking about how much is dead. They're saying they were overrun with dead people. Okay? Now, today, I seen an article, and I think the article was floating around saying how black skin is somehow resistant to the coronavirus.
The regular corona, not this.
That's the whole thing. Everything's convoluted now.
It is convoluted.
Because the thing that I was just talking about is not coronavirus. It's something else.
Yeah.
Coronavirus is like a scam, like HIV. That's a whole next conversation. We'll deal with that another time. But so. Apparently, black skin or dark skin, sub-Saharan skin, they always go with this sub-Saharan thing, is resistant to the coronavirus. But then this morning, I heard as well that coronavirus is now in Africa.
Yeah, I heard that.
So it's like there's so much.
The article actually said coronavirus finally in Africa. And I was like, finally? They weren't waiting for it. It's not a concert. It wasn't a big artist coming to visit. You mean finally? Finally,
because that was the whole. That's the objective, right? Generally, that's the objective, right? So because you can't just go and take that. You can't just go take Africa, even though you took it. But you can't just take it like physically. Just be. You know what I mean? So anyway, coronavirus or not coronavirus, who knows?
I think that's good food for thought, though. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much out there.
Definitely something that we should entertain.
Yeah. I mean, it's not from the CNN or CNN.
But
CNN's not to be trusted either.
None of these guys, right?
And like you said, fact is stranger than fiction. So
sometimes.
Yeah.
So with this, what I would suggest is that there's certain elements of it where they talk about how the U.S. and China are actually working together, and how they just make it seem like they're so apart and so opposed to each other. And I've been saying this for many years. All these guys sit down at a table and they all have tea and crumpets and discuss what the pawns are gonna do, right?
Yeah.
So, food for thought. As I said, when you leave, you're gonna learn something, right?
Yeah.
So now we're gonna get to some entertainment, because Power, I'd have to say, definitely one of my favorite shows in the last little while. I can't think of a show that I enjoy watching or look forward to as much as I did with Power.
Right.
There are a few, but not the way that other shows I'll binge watch it.
So what do you think about the finale, the last episode? Because there's a lot of mixed reviews that say about how it all worked out. I think everybody's up to snuff on what happened.
Yeah, by now, and if you're not, sorry for you. You're probably gonna see it before this comes out anyway. So if you're into Power, you definitely saw it.
Saw it already, yeah.
So I think that Power wrapped up. It was kind of predictable. It was kind of predictable, yeah.
I thought it was Tasha the whole time, to be honest with you.
I thought it was Tariq.
Oh.
I thought it was Tariq. The way that they were setting everything up, and he was like, "Nah, man." Even when Dre and it's like, "Nah, man, I'm doing this. This has to get done. It's getting done. Well, you're not gonna do it, And then they went through all the stories, right? So this is the last story. It's either Tasha or Tariq.
Or Tariq, yeah.
So I'm like, it's not Tasha. It's Tariq. She's not gonna kill the father of her children or other children. She has
don't act like these people have morals. They're not written to be moral people in certain aspects of decision making. It's always about self-preservation at the end of the day.
Yeah, but for Tasha, it was more. She was concerned about her family's preservation from her standpoint.
True. Ghost too.
I think Ghost's plan was a better plan. I think Ghost's plan was the best plan. I found that Ghost was a character that I liked the character. The last episode when he got wet, the way they had him behaving in that episode was yo,
some bull, man.
Why are you going on so extra? Because you must want to get plugged, because that's what the hell, you're going off. But I thought it was Tariq. The thing is, though, is that what's the guy's name who plays Tariq? Do you know his name?
I'm not sure of his name.
We'll put it on the screen.
I think he's a Jamaican dude. Big up Ayadi.
Oh my God. Stop it. Always trying to pull some. Anyway, so the gentleman who plays Tariq, your name is going to be here right now for edit that doesn't.
We'll put your picture on your name.
So, you're a very good actor.
Yeah, man.
A little bit too good for your own good. Okay, bro? Because for the next little while, I heard there's some spin-offs coming up, right?
There's different chapters, different books.
And so one book has Tasha and Tariq.
So what it is, there's Power Book 2, 3, 4, and 5. So one book is about Tasha and Tariq. Then there's a prequel book that talks about Kanan's come up. Then there's a book about Tommy. Yeah. And there's a book about Tate. There's even a book about Tate. So 50's putting a lot of people on, man. It's giving a lot of guys work.
Yeah. Well, Lawrence Tate was already and his name is Governor Tate too. That's interesting. Yeah. But the one guy that I thought was you're done for a little while was Tariq, because people hate you, bro. They hate you. I heard 50 had to hire security for you. All kind of thing. Getting death threats and all kind of thing.
That's how good the show is.
Right? Well, that's how good he is as an actor. But unless they write your part to be something where you're transforming into a good person, bro, you're going to be playing asshole.
He shot his father. How you going to... There's no transfer. Maybe there's a bit of a character.
He's acting, okay? So, he shot his father. He's a troubled youth. Listen, bro. If you don't get spun into some type of a hero or even an anti-hero, you're going to be playing an asshole for a long time, bro. You'll be playing an asshole for a long time. So, I don't know if you want to be typecasted like an asshole. I'm sure there's good asshole rules out there, but shit, bro. Because you're a really good actor, because I was you're an asshole. And I'm watching the show going. It's just a show.
What would you say out of all the cast? It was 6 seasons. Give me your top 3 or 4 actors out of the whole series. How would you rate them?
Tommy's up there.
Tommy's definitely
Tommy's up there.
Yeah.
Ghost is obviously up there.
Ghost is up there. Tariq, because you just mentioned Tariq.
Tariq has to be up there.
One more. Give me a couple more. No love for Sasha?
It's not Lala.
No, Lala's terrible, man.
I
was glad when she died.
It wasn't Reina.
Well, Reina wasn't that great either.
How
about Rotimi? Rotimi's good, man.
Rotimi.
Yeah. Rotimi's Dre. Dre was a good actor. Yeah.
Dre. I'd have to give it to Dre. Now, with Tasha, what I do big up is that you're from that group, was it 3LW?
Yeah.
And the two of them kind of did you dirty on that.
The two other
members kind of, I heard some kind of thing went on, and I seen both of them have talk show and all kind of, and they're not including you. I heard a couple things, right? The dark skinned girl and all, right? So I'm glad that you found like this. I know you as Tasha now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And so like at Tasha, I liked how you were smart, but there were certain things you did that were like fucked up. There
in that last episode, man.
Like you had that guy. Like you see, this is why I try to tell girls like that I'm affiliate with my daughters, and I try to tell women, you can't think like a guy. Don't think that just because that guy's telling you, oh yeah, that he gives a shit. Like, it's a serious game out there, all right? So you're gonna do this guy like that and make him take the rap for a murder? Really? And you don't think he's gonna spill the beans on everything that you're doing,
She didn't think that one out.
No, because she thought he loves me.
Yeah.
Right? He leaves.
The power of the PSSY.
But you see, that's the whole thing. But there's more girls than guys. Okay? So yes, I do think that vagina is the most powerful currency on the planet and probably the highest motivator on the planet. I do agree. And it's why people go to get things and why men try to build industry and because they want to have the pretty girl. I get it, okay? However, I never seen one that had a cape with an upside down triangle that was a super VJ. I never seen super VJ. So if you think that you're gonna have a guy take to rap for that, like, laughable. So that's a little bit of a hole in like, is she so smart? Why are you so stupid?
Well, she's done it before with Sean, right? She did it before with the lawyer. Actually, no, it didn't work with the lawyer.
But Sean's dead.
That's what I mean.
Right? So Sean, you can do it because he's not coming back.
But I'm saying she used her physical or whatever attribute she had, and she convinced a few guys during the whole series of what she wanted to do. Ghost as well. Or not even so much her, because Ghost was more in love with Angela.
Yeah.
So that he got swayed by that one. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like whatever. Now, what are the other stories that you heard about Power? You said there's going to be one with Tommy. I think that's going to be the most that's going to be the most watched one. To
be honest, the Tommy one is definitely the one I tune into first.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in the Kanan one. I just want to see, because it's a prequel. It's dealing with how Kanan and Ghost and Tommy came up. So
just because I rate 50, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like.
And the Tariq one, come on, I want to see how Tariq, because he's Ghost, man. He's the new Ghost.
They better not make him a new
Ghost.
Because if they make him a new Ghost, bro, he's going to be a hated person forever.
That's not your problem.
Oh, man. I was thinking about the young dude's future, man. Like, you know, whatever. Whatever. Now, other celebrity news. But Wendy Williams got dragged in the media this week as well. You heard some comments she made about homosexual men? With Galentine's
I heard it and I was surprised at her take on it, to be honest. I didn't know. I thought Wendy was pro. Not that she's not pro LBGTQ.
I would say she is pro that.
Yeah.
She is pro that.
The comments she made did surprise me.
It didn't surprise me at all. And I'm wondering why.
So what were the comments for people that didn't hear? Along the lines of?
Basically, Galentine's Day is for the girls. No, I know you're a homosexual man that identifies as a girl, but you're not a girl, and you don't menstruate, and stop wearing my dresses and my heels.
Oh wow!
And another thing she said was, "You'll never be as much woman as I am."
She must have got
Right?
shit on, man. She must
But
have
for
got-
what? The problem is this. Wendy Williams spoke out against the LGBT community by saying a fact. She didn't speak out against the LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ community at all. What she did was say, listen, we want to have a girls' day, you guys aren't girls. Now, she's not lying. She's not lying. Now, you can feed into, if somebody says, okay, well, put it this way then, I'm a squirrel. I'm a squirrel. And squirrels don't pay taxes, so not paying tax on nothing no more. And what, everybody can treat me like a squirrel? Okay, how about this? I'm a billionaire. Or how about this? I feel like my ticket's first class, even though I bought coach. Well, no, I know it says coach. Certain things are rooted in reality, and certain things are just not. So, the only issue is this. The people that are supporting all of this weirdness, okay? The ones who are going to get most affected by it are the women.
For sure, I agree with that.
Okay? And they're the ones that are out here championing it. You're not finding men coming out here and saying, yes, we want to change up the way that,
Change up the pronoun game.
Like, we're not doing that. Most of us just shut up because girls had friends that were homosexual and we still wanted to get VJ. And so if we said anything negative, we're not getting VJ no more.
I remember there was in Toronto, there was a woman that she had some kind of public speaking event at a library in Toronto.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
She wasn't really licking out against homosexuality. She just saying that some of the pronoun changes and some of the rights that are being given to homosexuals in the LGBT community and so forth are going to affect, and she's seeing it, that they are affecting and going to affect women in terms of the washrooms and the safety.
And see, now that's the next part I was gonna get to.
You know what I mean? So she wasn't really licking out against them, but they had a big protest saying
we don't want her to speak.
Right, because it's a public space. How could you guys give her a public space for hate speech?
It's not hate speech. And either way, do you want to give up your right to free speech for political correctness? Is that what you want to do? Because if you want to have your opinion, you have to allow others to have their opinion. So if I don't like the color purple, you can't get upset because my favorite color is green. I don't like purple. I don't like purple. Big deal. You know what I mean? So I can not like things, and but I'm not going to try to violently or try to strip somebody of their rights to live or anything like that. There's no need for that. So the problem is this. Women who stood up for this the most are now going to start seeing the repercussions of this decision. Because you see, if a girl walks into a man's washroom, you think men care?
No.
Men are going to go and peacock even more right now. In peacock, pun intended, okay? Alright? Even more. They'll show you everything. They'll walk out their stalls, pants all the way down, okay? All the way down and just big dick swinging and, oh, you're here? They don't care that you, but now when the men walk into your washroom, you're going to have an issue.
And there's young girls in there as well.
But you see even the young boys that are in the young boys are gonna see a woman come in the washroom, in the men's washroom, and be like, yeah! The young boy probably gets stiffy, you know what I mean? As soon as I've dreamed of this for my whole life. So, it's gonna affect women. It's gonna affect women. Women ain't gonna come in and beat us in basketball, and no women are gonna come into the NBA. But men are gonna go into the WNBA. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not gonna affect dudes.
Yeah.
So women need to start speaking up about this, so that we can at least get back to some type of normalcy. Live your life how you want to live it. Eh?
Yeah.
If you want to go and screw trees, I know vegans are gonna be mad that either you're screwing a tree, but like do whatever the hell you want to do as long as you're not hurting people. Okay, do what you. I don't care about what you're doing. I don't need to know about it either. I don't need to be advertised. I don't care to see heterosexuals doing all that PDA stuff. I don't care to see it. I don't watch porn. I'm not into none of that stuff. So I don't care to see it. My memory's good enough, you know what I mean? So I'm not worried about seeing other people doing stuff. That includes heterosexuals, homosexuals, trisexuals, bisexuals, whatever the hell it is.
Whatever it is.
Okay? So that's that. Now, talking about certain elements, and I don't want to tie this in directly, they were labeled together in the psychological, the mental disorders, psychological disorders, back, I believe, in the 70s. And homosexuality was one of the sexual deviances. It was a psychological issue. And they had pedophilia in there as well.
Wow.
So I'm not trying to tie homosexuality with pedophilia. I'm not trying to do that. There are obvious things that I could draw conclusions to and make them relate, but I'm not going to do that. But there's a new documentary coming out by a gentleman that we all, guys that are like in my range of age, even though I'm only 30 going on 29, even though I'm only 30 going on 29, with no in the background. We're on a Benjamin Button program. My shea butter really works, okay? Superior Shea Butter Blends, superiorbrand.ca. Corey Feldman and Corey Haim are two child actors that were like the top of the pack when I was young. So like Lost Boys, that was the one that really caught me. But they had a whole bunch of teenage ones in cars. They had a bunch of movies, but they were well known. Okay, now Corey Haim ended up going to a dark realm of drugs and stuff, and you never used to see them too much anymore. And then Corey Feldman came out and started talking about how there was a cesspool of pedophiles in the Hollywood circles.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay?
Yeah.
And Corey Haim ended up dying. And many names were being alluded to in the interviews that he's dealt with, but he's never named anybody specifically. Okay? But he's going to do that in this new documentary, and I do think that it's worth mentioning because, like, I have daughters, and, you know, they've done certain acting roles and whatnot. This gentleman, Corey Feldman, his son, I believe, is 16 years of age. The media doesn't know who his son is. His son saw the red carpet, I think, for the first time when he was 14. And the reason why is because Corey Feldman is saying he wants to keep his son out of the hands of these evil people in Hollywood that are orchestrating all types of nasty plans to have our youth follow a life of decadence. And he doesn't want that. He wants his child to have a normal life. So, I'm saying that we should watch this documentary. I think it's only going to be aired once. Okay? That's how serious they're like, yeah? Okay, we'll give you the one time. And hopefully people put that on YouTube. Yo, Corey, you better get some Netflix deal or something, bro. Because,
and some security.
Like, you better go chill with the FOI. Go and link with Farrakhan.
Yeah, right.
I'm dead serious. Like, what? Okay, you see Vlad? DJ Vlad?
Vlad TV.
Yeah. That guy there hired Farrakhan security when he's doing his stuff, okay?
Oh,
He
wow.
deals with FOI, because they'll bust your head, bro. So, like, I would say Corey Feldman, you need to go do some of that, or pay some
What's the
serious guys.
documentary called?
It's called, I think it's called Truth, the Rape of Two Coreys. I think that's what it's called. I had it written down somewhere, but it's not here on the sheet of paper. So go watch that, okay? Now, a point I want you to take away from this, gentlemen, is the promotion and almost like the sale of children of these celebrities to the beast. Like, they go and start putting... I remember Jamie Lee Curtis, I remember her in an interview, I think it was Arsenio Hall, said that she doesn't even allow her children have never seen any of her movies or anything. She doesn't allow her children to watch TV, doesn't allow her children to, like, because she said it's evil. This is like 20, 30 years ago she was saying that, right? Now, you have certain individuals that are putting their children out in front of the media, and so basically making them part of the industry. Before they... There's one individual that I'm speaking about right now, and I don't like to talk negatively about any black people, but it's you, Mr. D. Wade, okay? And Miss Union, okay? Like, there's a lot of rumors that are circulating about you guys, and I'm not going to get into all of them right now because it's unnecessary. I'm not going to talk negative about any black people here, as I told you that before, so I'm not trying to do that. But Mr. Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, there are a lot of rumors, okay, about what you guys are into. I don't care about all that stuff. I really don't care about all that stuff. Do what you're doing, all right? But you see, a prepubescent or just entering puberty times.
I think he's a 10, 12-year-old.
I think he's 12 years old.
12
okay?
years old, yeah.
Like, even if you agree or disagree with the lifestyle that he or she is choosing, and if my daughter tells me that she's a raccoon, I'm not gonna try to communicate with her like using raccoon noises. So, but 12 years old, why is he in the media? Whatever sexuality you want to identify him as and all that kind of, why are you having him in the media? Why is this a public discussion? This should not be public. Like, this is very irresponsible, okay? Because now the pressure that you're putting on this child is immense. What if he wants to change? What if next year he sees a girl that's really sexy to him, and he's like, you know what, I think this is a phase. Because we all know he's still a virgin, or he should be. You know that we're just talking about what goes on in Hollywood, and I would never wish that on anybody's child. So I'm assuming that the 12-year-old. So next year, when you're still probably going to be a virgin, what if you become attracted to girls, or what if he became attracted to girls? Now the media is putting so much pressure on him to be this individual who is Zaya or whatever they want to call him. It's not going to be a natural evolution. It's not going to be a natural progression. You don't get a chance to be a normal child. Like, it's hard enough when you have celebrity parents to be a normal child. But now you're going to put these children out in the spotlight when they're doing things that are not conventional, even though you're trying to make it seem like it's conventional. It's not. Like, we could talk about, and I hope I don't get too dragged for this, but I know I'm going to take a little bit. There's something called normal and abnormal. Normal is generally what is happening. It might be not even be good, okay? But normal is normal. That means it's happening for the majority of the time. That's what is considered to be a normalcy, okay? And then you have the abnormal, which just happens very periodically. Like, it's abnormal to have very intelligent people all in one room at one time, okay? That's not a bad thing, but it's still abnormal, right? So to try to make certain things be normal when they're abnormal, it's like, and to have a child now, to be out there in the spotlight dealing with these things when they don't even know who they are yet. We as men don't even figure out who we are till we're in our late 20s, most of us. So like a 12-year-old boy knows who, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very irresponsible. So what I would do if I were you, just like I would tell anybody on social media, okay? If you're on social media, don't talk about your relationship on social media. Don't do it. Don't advertise, especially if you're dating and stuff, and you just got a new boyfriend. Don't put it on Facebook. You'll break up in a week. Okay? Just like keep some shit sacred to yourself. You know, and your family should be the biggest protection, or you should be the biggest protector of your family as a man. So, you know, like, I'm not saying who wears the pants or whatever, but both of you are parents, and both of you have responsibility. And I know that the mother of Zion is not cool with this, right? So even that now, it's really interesting.
And I think Wade has custody of the boy. And
Sure.
And has had custody for a while.
But I always hear the argument that the woman has to have a say in the child's rearing. I always hear that. It's not something that's odd. That's also normal, that the mother has to be consulted. And so I don't know what's going on there. I don't think she gave up all parental rights, but I don't know the in and outs. I don't no idea the in and outs, okay? But what I would say is pull them back from the media and let them grow up like a normal kid.
As much as possible.
When I say normal, I'm not talking about gay or straight or homosexual or heterosexual. I'm just saying as a kid, man. Play with some Lego, play with some video games and stuff, you know what I mean? You're a kid. So, that being that, I think we can kind of cut that off now. I'm not really going to talk about that movement or anything like that too much because I'm going to get flack for it because, you know, even though everybody wants to have their opinion, certain opinions are not, you know, popular, I guess, or whatever you want to say. So, now we were talking about the protest. The pipeline protest. Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, I've Heard a bit about, I have a couple of people on my social media that were actually at that protest. So I'm not up on all of the details, but I think it's a pipeline going through a certain...
indigenous neighborhood.
Yeah, indigenous grounds that's supposed to be sacred grounds. So there's a protest for it, and I think it was agreed upon that they wouldn't send certain things, but you know how those are. They say they're not going to do it today, and then tomorrow it's a different thing. Right?
When have they ever honored a treaty? Or the agreements, they don't care, man. But
so what's your take on this whole thing?
I don't really have much of a take on. Okay, people will say that it's their land, and because they didn't give permission to the people who want to use it, then they shouldn't be granted permission. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. Okay. Now, if you want to talk about, there's many different realms we could talk about. I'm gonna try to stick to a couple and not veer too far. That pipeline that they're talking about, I don't know if it's going to be a good or bad thing. Generally, all the pipelines suck after a while, but they facilitate growth of economies in certain places, right? So it's going to help the rich get richer, sure, but it's also going to provide a means for others. And they're not just blocking the pipeline. The rail system has been interrupted.
Oh, they're blocking the rail system?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sir, it got cold here a couple days ago.
Yeah, man.
There's certain supplies that places need. And now that's not happening because you're upset about you. So people are going to die because of that. All right? And people are going to die, people die every day, son. You know what I mean? But like, it's, but it's not like the moral high ground, you don't have none. You don't have none. And the reason why you don't have none, number one reason why you don't have none, is because you are not the true indigenous people of this region. The indigenous people of every landmass on planet Earth are black people. And we've been here for many more thousands of years than anybody else. So what happened to you just yesterday, or when they said, okay, you know what, we're taking what we want, you're complicit in that. Because if you did not side with them and remove us, this would not be happening to you right now. Many things would not be happening the way they're happening on the planet right now. Okay, and I'm not saying that, because we're black, we're better or anything like that, but just the record, the historical record reflects that things were a little bit easier on the ecosystem, on Mother Earth, when all of these colonials were not invading and taking over things.
So
and
these people that are referred to as the indigenous people of these land, these people came here, you're saying came here after the original indigenous, well, let's say black peoples, and were a part of the execution of removing the African or the black people?
I'm saying they're complicit in upholding the lie.
Okay.
So I don't know if they had a hand in selling us out, or I don't know. I wasn't there. But they know that we are the originals here.
Oh, okay.
And they're keeping that lie alive.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right? So now karma's coming back. It's a karma thing. So it's like, it might seem cold and callous, but like, you know how much people are getting murdered off in Africa right now? So like, I would like to know why they were complicit. I would like to know why they try to hide the fact that we were here. I'd love to know that. And everybody seems to have a selective memory or about certain incidences when you confront them physically and personally. Hey, DNA says that we were here first. Genetics say that we were here first. So, yeah, how come you guys aren't telling people that? You guys knew. Because when you guys came here, you saw us. So, I know it's written down in some of your books. Why aren't you saying something? Now, it could be because you got to rock with the colonists in order to keep your benefits or to keep whatever it is. But now when things are happening to you, like, it's like Diego Sanchez just getting the win in the fight there. It's like they got an illegal blow. Okay, you know what? Okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna take the win because I'm gonna like you still know it's a serious deception. I was gonna say an effery, you know what I mean? But I'm trying to keep it a little bit clean so that YouTube doesn't edit me too hard. Now that's really all I'm gonna talk about when it comes to the protest thing because I don't know enough about it. Number one, and it's like liars and liars. A lot of them are $5 Indians as well. And look up the term $5 Indian and you'll see what it is. You might think it's a racist thing. It's like, but it's not a racist thing. Well, it is. But I'm not being racist when I say $5 Indian. Okay, it's an actual thing that occurred, and just look it up. Okay, so and you'll see what we're talking about. I told you, when you leave, you're gonna learn something.
Superior Shea Butter Blends presents Shea on You, the best body butter on the planet. A superior blend of shea butter, cocoa butter, and mango butter infused with 14 essential oils. Originally created to combat eczema, this superior formula also combats psoriasis, rosacea, all forms of dry skin, and acts as an insect repellent with naturally occurring SPF. So soft, so superior.
So, Black History Month, we told you we're going to give you some information on some books that you can read to help you familiarize yourself with Black history, Black culture. And I'm not going to be your teacher because that's not my duty here. I'm not going to be, even though you're going to learn some, I don't feel I'm qualified enough to say, yes, I'm going to teach you about this Black historic realm. I can do that with specific topics, but with the Black history, I'll leave that to people who are more qualified than myself. So, first book that I would suggest is Muwatta Ashby, Egyptian Yoga.
Yeah, man.
And there's a reason why. What do you think the reason is, Culture Rich?
No, that's one of my favorite books. I have a few volumes, many volumes of that book as well. It does cover Black history. It covers eating well, sleeping well. It's almost like an all-in-one. And,
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a great series of books.
I have volume 1 and volume 2. But I believe there's like 5, 6 volumes?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it shows you the origins of the yoga as well.
Yeah.
Okay? Because a lot of the times it gets obscured. And Egypt was practicing yoga for a very, 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 very long time. Okay? Now, another book to read is by a man called Ra Nefer Un Amen. Okay? And this book is called the Metu Neter. Alright? Now, there's several different versions, different volumes. And there's also the Tree of Life meditation system, and there's other ones as well.
Before you move on from that book, the Metu Neter and a lot of the Egyptian, theories and stuff are interpreted by, you know what I mean? Have been translated by, let's say, Europeans.
Sure.
Right. And there's a couple of years ago, there was a big talk about the translations and if the translations are accurate.
Right.
Why are we going by these translations if we say that we are of a certain understanding? What's your take on that?
I think it's valid.
Yeah.
I think it's a valid question,
Yeah.
and it's an investigation that needs to be done because to the victor goes the spoils, and they talk about like the winners write history, and so if we're not checking it out ourselves, how do we know what they're telling us is accurate? Ra Nefer Un Amen is a gentleman that I think is noble, and he has a vested interest in preserving the culture and teaching it as well. Now we got another book called The 13th Tribe by Arthur Koestler. Now this book is a serious book, and it gives many, there's many different aspects of history that are hidden and that people do not want to be revealed. This book here goes into detail about the Khazarian conversion. When the Khazars, Bulan, the emperor in the Russian steppe region, the Khazarians. Yeah, it talks about their conversion into Judaism. So that book is a book that I think is a very important book, so you'll understand the dynamic as to what's going on even politically today. Okay? And there's another book called...
I'm giving them a bonus, huh?
Yeah, we'll give them one more.
Alright.
What is the book called? By Michael Bradley. It's called Pale Man of the Caucasus. And I think that's a very interesting read. It's done by a European scholar, as was Arthur Koestler is also a European scholar as well. So, you know, it's not like just some black guy talking crap. Okay, so...
Black guys don't talk crap.
Well, you and I know this, but, you know, so I'm going to leave you with that. And next week we'll be back again to discuss more cutting-edge news. Hopefully by this time the coronavirus outbreaks has a little bit more understanding towards what's going on. And we'll see you then. Peace, power, and positive vibes.